Right now, a lot of people are probably wondering why this fight even got made. We're going to have Adrien Broner 29-1 with 22 KOs versus John Molina Jr. 27-5 with 22 KOs. Inside Tstreet Controversy, Tstreet Controversy Live at RealCombatMedia.com along with Be Real TV. And basically what we're going to be doing is giving our predictions on Adrien Broner versus John Molina Jr., which is going to be on national television, premier Al Haymon's actually, thank you Al Haymon, premier boxing champions, PBC on NBC. So if you're in the UK, it's going to be coming on Box Nation. Box Nation has an exclusive deal with premier boxing champions. It's crazy. So a lot of fans have been asking, well, how will we be able to watch the fights? It's going to be on Box Nation. To get right into it, I'm going to turn it over to Be Real TV. Be sure to subscribe to both channels. You know, of course, Tstreet Controversy. And then right down below, the first link right down below is Be Real TV. Just click it, and then right there you'll see the little red button that says subscribe. Tstreet Controversy, Tstreet Controversy Live.
Thanks, Tstreet. Now, Adrien Broner versus John Molina. There's a lot of people who dislike Adrien Broner, and I think that their hate for Adrien Broner is getting in the way. Personally, I think Adrien Broner is going to win this fight. I think John Molina is a good fighter, but I think people are looking too much at the Marcus Maidana fight. And I understand that there was a few flaws in the Emmanuel Taylor fight, but I saw some improvements from Adrien Broner in the Emmanuel Taylor fight. I think that Adrien Broner in the Emmanuel Taylor fight was a little bit more busier. Do I think he could have been a bit more busier? Yes, I do, but I think that Adrien Broner is going to rectify some mistakes, and he's still growing as a fighter. He's very young. And John Molina, he's lost. He's lost by unanimous decision. He's lost by majority decision. He's been knocked out numerous times. So I think that Adrien Broner definitely is going to look good in this fight and win in fashion. I think that Adrien Broner is a good boxer, and I think that he's going to win. I think people are looking too much into the Marcus Maidana fight. You've got to remember, with Marcus Maidana fights, Marcus Maidana, the old Marcus Maidana, used to struggle with the likes of Devon Alexander, he struggled with Amir, he struggled against Kotelnik, and then he's improved under Robert Garcia, and then he's gone and faced Adrien Broner, and he's beat him. And I picked Marcus Maidana to win that fight against Adrien Broner. I was one of very few. But you see, John Molina, he doesn't really come in with a jab. He doesn't come in with a jab. He doesn't jab his way in and use, different types of jabs like Maidana does. And Maidana has improved significantly under Robert Garcia, learned these little tricks, and that's how he was able to beat Adrien Broner. You look at the knockdown, Adrien Broner thought it was a jab coming to the body. It turned out to be a left hook coming to the head. These little tricks, does John Molina have it? Now, I've done interviews with John Molina in the past, and I like John Molina, but the thing is, do I think he's going to beat Adrien Broner? I don't think so, because Adrien Broner, I feel, is the better boxer. He has a little bit of defense. He can counter-punch. He's got speed. He's dedicated right now. He's really hungry right now. So when you put both of these two in the ring, yeah, there's a chance John Molina could just outwork Broner and just, that's it. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Adrien Broner's got the power to knock him out. I think John Molina's been outboxed before against lesser fighters. He's recently coming off a loss to Humberto Soto. So I just think that all these little factors, and he's lost against Matisse as well. So you take all these things into consideration. Adrien Broner is a brilliant fighter. I mean, just 2-3 fights ago, everybody thought he was the next Mayweather. Not everybody, but a lot of people. I wasn't one of them. But yeah, I'm gonna give it back over to Tstreet right now. But personally, I think Adrien Broner's gonna look good in this fight.
You see, I agree with you. He could have been a lot more busier in the Emmanuel Taylor fight, but that seems to have been the trend over his last several fights. When you go back to Paulie Malignaggi, even when you go back to Gavin Reeves, when you go to Gavin Reeves, when you go to Paulie Malignaggi, when you go to Marcos Maidana, when you go to Carlos Molina, no, not that Molina, and then when you go to Emmanuel Taylor, in those fights, he was, if the fights that he won because of basically skill. The other guys were, at some point in time, majority of the time, outworking him. When you look at, his movement as well, I personally said to myself that, maybe it's because he's been with the same training staff so long that, it's not really sticking in as far as when they're telling him, and training him, like, you got to start using more movement. Like if you're using, the Philly shell and your shoulder rolling and everything, and you're not using any lateral movement with it, somebody's going to knock you out. And we saw, how Marcus Maidana caught him when it looked like a jab to the body and it just turned into a hook. It was crazy. So, I do have Adrien Broner winning. I do see that Adrien Broner can win by knockout. John Molina Jr. has been stopped twice. Once in 20 seconds against Antonio DeMarco. Antonio DeMarco fought Adrien Broner. Remember, Adrien Broner beat him with these mean uppercuts before he moved up. That's when he won the 135-pound title. It was 130. Yeah, it was the 135-pound title. Then he moved up to fight Paulie Malignaggi after that. So John Molina Jr. He's one of those fighters that he's Rocky-ish. He's there to come in there, to try to outwork you, to try to get some, some career saving. I don't want to say career saving, but exciting fashion when maybe in a fight where he's getting beat half to death for 11 rounds. Then all of a sudden the 12th round, he decides to come back. That's the type of fighter he is. So when it comes to that, he can win that way. He can win from outworking Adrien Broner. But Adrien Broner's a big guy, and Adrien Broner does have the power to knock him out. So if Adrien Broner didn't have the power at 147 with Paulie Malignaggi and Marcus Maidana, you saw what that mean uppercut where he, where Emmanuel Taylor basically, could have tore his knee. He uppercutted him straight to hell. So, we saw at 140 he does have the power, but can he knock out John? I mean, I don't know. This is a fight where fans are saying, well, why is Adrien Broner fighting him? John Molina Jr. lost to Lucas Matisse, even though it was the fight of the year. And he also lost unanimous decision, clear-cut loss to Humberto Soto. Why didn't Adrien Broner fight Soto? Why didn't Broner fight Matisse? We're not talking about that, but what we want to focus on is that John Molina is right there, and Adrien Broner fighting a guy like John Molina. Truth be told, he has to make a statement. So he does not need to be going a distance with John Molina when John Molina got stopped in 20 seconds and Adrien Broner knocked out Antonio DeMarco. That's just my own personal opinion.
I think it's interesting. I think that because Adrien Broner is fighting, I think the reason he's not fighting Lucas Matisse, truthfully, is because there's that golden boy thing. But Adrien Broner is currently moving on to Premier Boxing Champions. I like the move to the mainstream cable network in America. I'm from the UK myself, but I think it's a good move by Al Haymon. I'm liking the whole setup, and now I hear that there's going to be some sort of 360 camera in the ring as well. I'm not sure if it's going to be for these fights, but I know Al Haymon, being from Harvard, I think he's from an economics background, definitely knows what he's doing. Very clever guy. I think he's he's introducing Hans Zimmer into PBC, and I think Hans Zimmer making the music, and I think just mixing all of it. I think this fight is there to make Adrien Broner look good. And I think he will look good, and I'm really looking forward to this fight. I'm really looking forward to the debut of Premier Boxing Champions by Haymon Boxing.
It's going to be on March 7th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check your local listings over in the UK. It's going to be on Box Nation over there. If you don't know who Hans Zimmer is, the latest Batman movies, the ones with Christian Bale, he did the soundtrack for those, and he did soundtracks for all these different great movies. Basically, he was very expensive.
Gladiator as well. Hans Zimmer is the best musician that there is of recent in terms of movies. Very, very good to have him on board, because he's the guy who's going to create drama in music, and I think he's done that. I think you look at the promos and everything that's going on with boxing, I feel that Al Haymon is trying to take boxing back to where it used to be, and he's using a more classical, old school theme to promote his fighters.
Yeah, it has a certain epic feel. So, of course, I'm going to be here on Tstreet Controversy live right after the fight. Also, right down below, Be Real TV, there'll be a video as well. Please subscribe to both channels. Last words, Be Real TV?
Nothing, just make sure you watch this fight. I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I do think John Molina is going to definitely have his rounds, but we're going to see what Adrien Broner's made of. I think you're going to see a knockout. John Molina leaves his chin out to dry. He's going to be coming out balls to the wall. That's how he's going to fight. That's the only way he knows. He's known as the gladiator, and I think Adrien Broner's going to capitalise on that. I think John Molina is going to abandon his jab, and he's going to need a jab to get on the inside. I think he's going to abandon that, and Adrien Broner's going to outclass him and outdo him and hit him with some power punches, hard combinations. He's not going to load up on his shots too much. He's just going to fire really fast, rapid combinations and sneak a big punch now and again. And we've seen Adrien Broner knock down Emmanuel Taylor in the last round. It was one of the best, well, if not the best knockdown of last year. So I think I'm really looking forward to it, and I do think Adrien Broner's going to win this fight, whether it's by knockout or whether it's on points. But I do think Adrien Broner's going to win this fight, so make sure you guys watch it, and make sure you subscribe to Be Real TV, and make sure you subscribe to Tstreet Controversy Live or Royal Combat Media. So yeah, man.